David McCormack. I'm the General Manager of Retail and Distribution for Hames Paint. I look after all our channels to market, so that's our franchisees, our independent stockists and our independent hardware. So anywhere we sell paint. We're the last and largest Australian manufacturing and retailer of Hames Paint in the country, and we've got an operating network of about 350 distributors. 60 of those live within our franchise Hames Paint Shop, 40 in our cooperative Paint Right network at the same time, and the vast majority of independent stockists that make up our core channel to market. So we make really good paint. We position ourselves as a quality brand in the market.
My name is Michelle Sutherland and I work for Hames Paint. I manage all of our projects within IT and implement all of our up-and-coming solutions. So the Spec Pro project was a need for Hames Paint to solve for paint specification. This is all of our clients' projects that we need to work out and help them design a solution for which coatings go on which surfaces.
We were certainly at a stage when we were approached around how do we create a better system for our specification. Specification was happening probably at multiple points across the business. What we were looking for was a consistent approach to how we specify product to market. It's a critical part of making sure we specify the right product for the right substrate for the right project, and doing that and trying to centralise that back into one system and one point of contact to get the right solutions for the right project, because all those eventually also have a maintenance and warranty schedule to them. So really important that we're speccing everything correctly and bringing that back in as part of the single point project.
The system that we were using at Hames Paint had reached end of life. It was a custom solution that we'd implemented, but it was very clunky. It was very cumbersome for people to be able to generate a paint specification. We needed to automate a way that you could define what the project was for the customer, and then through that definition be guided in determining what the appropriate coating was for the surfaces within your project. When we were looking at a potential solution, first we went out to market to see if there was anything off the shelf that we could just plug and play, but nothing existed. We then knew that we needed to develop something custom. Previously, we had implemented a custom solution within our manufacturing plant using the Ignition platform. We thought that that was more of a manufacturing solution and really didn't have it considered to begin with. But then after talking to the team at Insight, they looked at our requirements for our custom solution and really showed how the Ignition platform could solve our needs for custom development. What we were looking for was something that was low code and something that we could manage long term, and something where our licensing costs would not be huge. But the biggest thing that we were looking for was usability.
I'm Christopher Golly. I'm a Control Systems Engineer at Insight Engineering Australia. I primarily work in SCADA and MES systems. The type of work at Insight is quite varied, so I'll be working on projects for multiple clients while also supporting our wider team of engineers on several more. We are full-service electrical engineering and control systems integrators. As premier integrators of Ignition, with 8+ gold certified engineers on our team, we have heavy involvement in PLC and SCADA integration. This is not the only sector we specialise in, and we ultimately cover all aspects of engineering design, such as motor control centres, electrical drafting, manufacturing execution systems, ERP interfacing, and safety and hazardous area consulting. Spec Pro uses a modern SCADA platform in place of a typical business process application. The application is designed to be an intuitive and easy to use tool for the sales staff to produce functionally accurate and standardised paint specifications. We aim to deliver a solution which leveraged Hames Paint's existing investments into the Ignition platform. Recognising that Ignition was not only a long-term solution but a fully scalable one, we really wanted the opportunity to show that it could be used outside of its typical boundaries. Developing Spec Pro on the Ignition platform was an exciting prospect, as it ultimately covered all of Hames Paint's requirements for their custom tool, including being a low-code solution that's highly scalable and has great support options within Australia.
Goals that we had was to ensure that we could automate the specification process, and we needed to minimise the impact on individual user knowledge. So taking the knowledge of our painting systems and what coatings worked best for what surfaces in what situation, and really take all of that knowledge and put it into a solution where a user could pick up the requirements for that particular project and define it and match it to the coatings that were available at Hames Paint. The Spec Pro tool needed to produce 3 different outputs. First output was for our builders. They are specifying for new house builds all the time. So we needed to make sure that we had a quality output. The next output was just a general project specification. So that project specification would be for anything. So a mum and dad doing a reno on their home to a high-end commercial project, apartment buildings, hospitals. So we needed to make sure that the specification was clear and provide enough information for those projects. And then the third output was a combination of the project specification, but with the colour included. The timeline for us to implement was 3 months. So we definitely had some design thinking before we started the actual build. But once we clarified our design and which direction we were going in, it was a very fast 3-month implementation.
At the time, the only picture Hames Paint had of how Ignition might look and feel was their paperless MES system, which was a very sleek and well-designed interface, but it was designed to ASM guidelines, which meant it was grey, simple, and ultimately not that exciting to look at. To demonstrate that Ignition was capable of a more modern look and feel, Visual Aid is always the best approach. We developed the demo in a single workday. We gave it base level functionality like screen navigation, selectors, and a PDF output. We identified 4 development cornerstones that were critical to this project, these being designing a modern GUI, an intuitive user interface, constructing a robust database architecture, and outputting a highly detailed paint specification PDF. From a functional perspective, the most important aspect of this project was a system which automatically provides users with a preferred painting system based on simple to use drop-downs. To facilitate this, the design of the database was entirely driven by this functionality, and we leveraged several complex SQL constructs to efficiently determine the most appropriate painting system with optimal performance. We utilized Ignition Perspective as its CSS style sheet was fundamental when designing a modern GUI, but reporting was perhaps the most critical aspect to this project, and we really pushed it as far as it would feasibly go to generate the desired specification layouts.
Once we had finished the implementation and a series of testing, the actual deployment of the solution was very straightforward. And it was just a matter of turning it on for the first time and sharing the link with our end users.
Due to the straightforwardness of integrating Ignition with external ERPs, Spec Pro has been integrated with Hames Paint's CRM and PIM systems, which is a level of interconnectedness not yet before utilised for generating paint specifications, and now directly links it to the business's sales pipelines. Ignition's great capacity for rapid screen design facilitated an efficient and thoroughly iterative design process. We leveraged Ignition's style classes and templates quite heavily during the early stages of the development. We recognized that given the iterative nature, we'd be regularly pushing out sweeping design changes. Therefore, the back-end construction is highly templated and modular, but more importantly, that's not apparent to users at the front end. In all, 7 Ignition reports are generated and collated on demand into one of 3 types of paint specifications. We utilized complex query data sources, which are then supplemented by on-demand APIs coming from several of Hames Paint's end-of-line business applications.
The outcomes have been fantastic. We've got a fabulous tool in the cloud so anybody can use it. We've now got full traceability from when the specification request first comes in all the way through to output, and we've got fantastic uptakes within our teams as well. Now that we've got Spec Pro, we have really been able to lift our game in that specification space and really support our customers with a faster turnaround. Some specifications in the past would take a user, a day to generate a spec. But now you can generate a spec within an hour from first input to review and approval and get that to the customer. It's a huge time saving. The information or the data that we have has really given us fantastic insights to what we're specifying, not only the customer projects, but also our products as well. So from an analytics point of view, it's been a bit of a game changer.
Internally has been terrific. I think from the user feedback we get from the customers has also been excellent, just in terms of the presentation of the specifications and how that suits their business to take to their customers and clients has been really strong in the market. And auditing, I guess, of our specification, our conversion rate, being able to measure that 6 months in has been hugely beneficial. We're really keen to continue to grow, particularly in the specification space around commercial and our building areas, which, that's a ticket to play in those areas with our customers and stakeholders. Given our growing confidence in the product that we've been able to collaboratively build, the future of that is to obviously take that more to external customers at the same time. We feel buoyed by the fact we've got the right tool to continue to grow in those spaces, both our share and holistic coatings opportunities, which is exciting.
The finished product speaks for itself. Ignition has proven to be the right tool for SpecPro and fully encapsulated the vision that Hames Paint had for this project. It's really exciting to be able to show what SpecPro has revealed about using Ignition in a business, and shows great promise for further expansions in the future.